Hello, I'm Joy from Dressing Alice, and today we're going to sew our Remi boys romper.
What you're going to do first is you're going to print your pattern on A4 or standard letter paper. Then you're going to cut around the black border of each of the pages and you're going to tape them together according to your pattern layout. Once you've done that, you're going to cut your fabric using the pattern.
We're going to start off with our straps first, so take out your matching strap pieces and you're going to pin them together, right side together. You're going to sew your strap pieces together with a 1/4 inch seam allowance. You want to sew the long sides and the short straight edge. You're going to snip off the corners of your straps to minimize bulk at the strap ends when you turn it right side out. Turn your straps right side out and you're going to iron this flat. If you need help, you can use a blunt pencil or a knitting needle to get those corners out properly. You can snip off any excess seam allowance at the strap ends. Head over to your machine now and you're going to top stitch around the edge of the straps. Take out your bottom piece. You want to lay your bottoms right side up and find the center of the top of your bottoms and put a pin in it. You can do this by folding it in half. Now measure 1.5 inches away on each side of that pin and put a pin in it. Get your straps. Now you're going to pin them wrong side up to the back bottoms so the inner edges of the straps match the pins and the straps will cross. You're going to lay the back facing on top, wrong side up, so that you're sandwiching the straps between the top facing and the bottom piece. Pin that down and then you can head over to your machine and sew them together with a 1/4 inch seam allowance right side together. Head over to your iron and you want to iron the facing towards the back of your bottoms. You want to iron a 1/4 inch fold on the facing's raw edge towards the wrong side. Pin this down and sew along the edge of the fold. We're going to get our elastic ready now. You're going to cut a piece that's according to the elastic chart on your pattern guide and then attach safety pins to each end of your elastic. You're going to pin one end of your elastic right outside the side of the fold that you just sewed and then use the other end to guide the elastic through the fold. Head over to your machine and you want to sew the elastic down at each end to secure it. You're going to take one of your front bib pieces now and lay it right side up. Lay your back bottoms on top, right side up, and then pin them together at the notches. Tuck your straps in now so you don't sew over them in the next step. Get your remaining front bib piece and you want to lay that on top, wrong side up. Match up the notches of this top bib piece and then you want to pin the sides and the tops together. Head over to your machine, you're going to sew it together at the sides and the top. You should have a half-inch seam allowance where you're sandwiching the back bottoms between the front bibs, and then the rest should have a 1/4 inch seam allowance around the top of the front bib piece. Cut off the corners of your bib pieces, just be sure that you don't cut through your sew line. Turn it all right side out and push out the corners of your bib pieces with a blunt pencil or a knitting needle. You're going to iron it flat and then top stitch around the seams you've just sewed of the front bib pieces. You're going to sew a stay stitch line a 1/4 inch away from each of your leg holes. Get a fabric marker and your tape and you want to draw a line 5/8 of an inch from the edge of each leg hole. Get your iron and you want to iron the 1/4 inch line towards the back. Now iron your marked 5/8 of an inch line towards the back and you want to pin this down. Head over to your machine and you want to sew along the edge of this fold to create a space for your elastics. You can skip this step if you don't want to add snaps at the crotch. You're going to draw 2 lines from the bottom of your crotch edge at a 1/4 inch and 3/4 inch. If you want to add interfacing to reinforce buttonholes or the crotch snaps, you'll place it between those 2 lines. You're going to cut 2 pieces of 1/4 inch elastic according to the leg elastic chart in your pattern guide. You're going to follow the same steps for the elastic as what we did on the waist. You're going to attach safety pins to each end of your elastic and then pin one end of your elastic right outside the fold you just sewed and use the other end to guide the elastic through the fold of your leg holes. You're going to sew the elastic down at the 3/4 inch line to secure it. Trim any excess elastic close to your sew line to remove any bulk around the crutch. This is your snap-free option. Skip if you're going to add snaps. You're going to sew the crutch seam with a 3/4 inch seam allowance right side together. For snaps, you're going to iron a fold over at your 1/4 inch line and then iron over another line at your 3/4 inch line. You're going to repeat this step for both the front and the back crutch. Pin this down and then you're going to sew down along the edge of your fold. You're almost finished now. All you've got to do is sew your buttons and buttonholes or attach snaps to the dots on your front bib, strap, and then the crutch seams. Thanks for sewing along with us. If you have any questions, please don't hesitate to contact us on Etsy.